The Kansas City Chiefs just added exactly what the NFL feared. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Kansas City Chiefs RB Jerick McKinnon reportedly has very real chance to play in the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs are in Las Vegas on Monday as preparations for the Super Bowl outing against the San Francisco 49ers are in full swing. As the team takes center stage for opening night festivities, all eyes are on the reigning champions with the most important game of the year on the horizon. One Kansas City player getting plenty of recent attention is running back Jerick McKinnon. Over the weekend, the Chiefs opened the veteran halfback's 21-day practice window and designated him to return from injured reserve. While there are plenty of hoops to jump through, McKinnon is just over a month removed from surgery to correct a core muscle injury and fractured pelvis. His outlook remains something to monitor. On Monday, Ian Rapoport of NFL Network provided a fresh update on McKinnon's chances of playing on Sunday. "Here's one to watch," Rapoport said. "Jerick McKinnon has been on injured reserve, had his practice window opened. My understanding is they're going to watch him this week, dealing with a groin injury, but there is a very real chance he plays on Sunday." On Saturday, Joshua Briscoe of Arrowhead Report wrote about the boost McKinnon would provide should he be able to play in the Super Bowl. "If McKinnon has even a chance of suiting up, there's no harm in opening the practice window with only 8 days left in your season. But just 1 month removed from surgery and with only a few days of pre-Super Bowl practice, it's too soon to assume McKinnon will be available on Sunday. If he can return, it will be an amazing recovery timeline, and the Chiefs would certainly be glad to have him back." Expanding on Briscoe's analysis, this is undoubtedly a significant development for Kansas City's offense. When on the field, McKinnon may be the team's second-best running back, and in a worst-case scenario, he's an ideal complement to Clyde Edwards-Helaire working behind Isaiah Pacheco on the depth chart. McKinnon played 264 snaps in 12 games during the regular season, scoring 5 touchdowns as a rusher and receiver and even throwing for another. While McKinnon's best days are behind him and Father Time has sapped him of some athleticism, he's still a valuable piece to have. His willingness and toughness as a pass blocker, combined with his consistency as a receiver, makes him a trusted third-down option. The next few days will provide additional clarity on whether he can pull off this miraculous comeback in time to finish the season on his terms. Although Rapoport's report isn't the bottom line, it adds to the intrigue of McKinnon's attempted return from IR. The HOV lane has a different name in professional sports. It's called the GOAT lane. It offers speedy and exclusive access for the select few seeking athletic immortality. That's where you'll find Patrick Mahomes, a quarterback speeding into the Super Bowl. If Mahomes prevails Sunday against the 49ers at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, he will have 3 Super Bowl rings in his first 6 years as NFL starter. He will have 6 consecutive AFC Championship game appearances. He will be hailed as the only truly great quarterback in the current NFL, affirmed by the home field playoff failures of Baltimore's Lamar Jackson and Buffalo's Josh Allen. He will be on pace to surpass Tom Brady as the greatest of all time. There are no givens or guarantees in life. Tiger Woods was blistering hot in the first quarter of his career, once considered a shoo-in to pass Jack Nicklaus for GOAT status. It never happened, and it never will. Yet Mahomes is already more dynamic, more athletic, and physically tougher than Brady. He has the moxie and the running ability to become a dual-threat quarterback in the postseason. He has learned the maturity to manage games and the patience to take and make the easy completions. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid deserves great credit for buffing out the rough spots, for the shiny coat of polish Mahomes is now wearing. The Chiefs quarterback is also making a powerful declaration that nobody can beat him come playoff time, no matter where the game is staged, no matter how ragged or disorienting the Chiefs might appear during the regular season. For years, critics pinned Brady's greatness with an asterisk. Yes, he was clearly the best quarterback of all time. There was nobody smarter, nobody better in the clutch, nobody with a bigger chip on his shoulder, nobody with more jewelry, but Brady never once felt like the greatest football player. Not in the bone-crunching sense of the word, not like Walter Payton or Lawrence Taylor, but Mahomes could finally unify the title, becoming both the NFL's GOAT and the greatest quarterback in history. When Brady won his last ring in New England, he held a 6-1 lead over Mahomes with no other contender in sight. It was 7-2 after Brady's final championship in Tampa. Yet if the Chiefs win, the second story is Chiefs LB Nick Bolton on Chiefs' boundless defensive potential. The Kansas City Chiefs would not be set to compete in a second consecutive Super Bowl without the stellar performance of their defense throughout the season. Star linebacker Nick Bolton is one of the key players on Kansas City's defense, and he has always felt that the unit had great potential, even back in the 2023 offseason. While speaking with the media on Thursday, Bolton told reporters about the high expectations he had for the Chiefs' defense and when he noticed that it could be one of the NFL's top units. "In training camp, I mentioned that we had the opportunity to be a top defense," Bolton explained. "I meant that. I could tell from the guys and how we were able to recall from last year, adding new guys to the system and how fast they were able to pick up stuff. We have the core guys that played last year. I think the experience in building where we left off from last year, everyone is a year older and a little more comfortable playing around each other. I feel like that helped us get to where we are now." Kansas City's defense has overperformed all season and is widely regarded as one of the league's best units despite being one of the youngest in the NFL. The Kansas City Chiefs should have a key playmaker return to practice in Las Vegas as the team has opened the 21-day practice window for veteran running back Jerick McKinnon. The Chiefs' regular third-down running back has been out of action since injuring his groin during the team's Week 15 victory over the New England Patriots on December 17th. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported the news on Saturday afternoon via social media. A potential addition for the Super Bowl, Chiefs RB Jerick McKinnon has been designated to return off injured reserve, posted Rappaport on X. His practice window is open. McKinnon was placed on Kansas City's injured reserve list on Christmas Eve, less than 24 hours before their Week 16 matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has stepped in admirably since as the team's weekly third-down running back. McKinnon ended his 2023 regular season with 21 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown, with most of his production in the passing game consisting of 25 receptions for 192 yards and 4 touchdowns. He played in 12 games during the year due to the nagging injury. As his return to practice is positive news, it's unclear whether or not one of Patrick Mahomes' best red zone targets will be available for Super Bowl LVE. The Kansas City Chiefs' defense has been perhaps the NFL's best this season, although it faces a serious challenge in multiple aspects entering Super Bowl LVE. First and foremost, the personnel the San Francisco 49ers boast is second to none. Finding ways to slow down players like Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle all at once is no easy feat. It's even more difficult, though, when you aren't 100% healthy on the other side of the ball. That's the case for Kansas City, as defensive lineman Charles Omenihu will miss the most important contest of the season with a torn ACL. Several players will be used to help offset that loss, but rookie defensive end Felix Anudike-Uzomah has all eyes on him during the club's ramp-up for the championship game. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo spoke to the media on Friday, discussing the team's potential replacement plan for Omenihu. "I'll tell you, you don't replace that height and that length that he has, but we'll get guys to step in there," Spagnuolo said. "Felix will probably have to step in. Everybody has to up their game in a Super Bowl anyway. Hopefully, like last week, I think it was decent in the first half where we didn't have to play as many plays. If the play count gets up, that's where it gets tough for George Karlaftis." The third story is a split-second decision helped Deon Bush, Kansas City Chiefs, return to Super Bowl. He wanted to bring it out of the end zone and run it back to glory. Instead, Chiefs safety Deon Bush turned in one of the biggest moments in last week's AFC Championship game by making the smart football move and surrendering himself after an interception. The play early in the fourth quarter against the Baltimore Ravens allowed the Chiefs to maintain a 10-point lead in a game they won 17-10. And that outcome sends the Chiefs to Super Bowl LVE to face the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, February 11. On the all-important play, Bush, who had just entered the game on defense after an injury to Mike Edwards, undercut Isaiah Likely's route. Likely waved his arm to get quarterback Lamar Jackson's attention, but it was Bush who came down with the catch. No return, although Bush might have considered it for a split second. "I wanted to," he said. "I really wanted to. But I saw closing in on me, so I went down. It was the safe play." The temptation to make a bigger splash would have understandable for a player who logged merely 3 defensive snaps in the game. Bush got just 8 defensive snaps during the regular season, appearing in 6 games, mostly on special teams. But he was needed last weekend, and next man up never seemed more relevant. Although he doesn't play often, Bush made a veteran play. "He played it perfectly," Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo said. "He had the right eyes for it. He helped on one side and took that away and made himself available. He almost made a mistake and started running out of the end zone. Then he remembered. It was a big, big play. The biggest of Bush's career, which started in 2016.